through me to gain, in thunder, lightning, or in rain.
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won.
That will be ere set of sun.
Where the place?
Upon the heath.
There to meet with Macbeth.
I come, grey Malkin.
Haddock calls.
Anon.
Fair is foul.
And foul is fair.
Hover through the fog and filthy air.
What bloody man is that?
He may report, as seemeth by his plight, of the revolt the new estate.
This a battle technician, who like a good and hardy soldier fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend, say to the chief the knowledge of the broil as thou didst see it.
Doubtful it stood, as two spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their art, the merciless MacDonald, worthy to be a rebel, for to that the multiplying villainies of nature do swarm upon him. For brave Macbeth, well he deserves that name, disdaining fortune with his brandished strike, which smoked his bloody execution, like valor's minion carved out his passage.
O valiant cousin, worthy gentleman!
Mark, chief of the South, mark! No sooner justice had with valor armed, compelled these perns from their heels. The North Lord, surveying vantage, furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault.
It dismayed not the sure operators, Macbeth and Banquo?
Yes, as sparrows eagles, or the hare the lion. If I say sooth, I must report they were cannons or overcharged with double cracks. The strokes upon the foe. I am faint. Precious cry for help.
So well thy words become thee as thy wounds, they smack of honor both. Go get some surgeons. Who comes here?
The worthy Thane of Ross.
God save the southern chief.
Whence camest thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife's master, where the northern banners flout the sky and fan our people cold. The North chief himself, with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict. But to conclude, the victory fell on us.
Great happiness!
No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go pronounce his present death, and with his former title, greet Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
What he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won.
Where hast thou been, sister?
Killing swine.
Sister, where thou?
A sailor's wife had chestnuts in her lap, and munched, and munched, and munched. Give me, quoth I. Aroint thee, demon, the rump-fed Royngan cries. Her husband's to Aleppo gone, master of the tiger. But, in a sieve, I'll thither sail, and like a rat without a tail, I'll do, and I'll do.
I'll give thee a wind.
Thou art kind.
And I another.
I myself have all the other, and the very ports they blow, all the quarters that they know with the shipman's card. I will drain him dry as hay. Sleep shall neither night nor day hang upon his penthouse lid. He shall live, a man forbid. Wearisome nights, 9 times 9 shall he dwindle, peak, and pine. Though his bark cannot be lost, yet it shall be tempest-tossed. Look what I have.
Show me, show me.
Here I have a pilot's thumb, wrecked as homeward he did come.
A drum, a drum, Macbeth doth come.
The weird sisters hand in hand,
Posters of the sea and land.
Thus do go about,
thrice to thine and thrice to mine.
And thrice again to make up 9.
Charms wound up.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen.
How far is it called to head station? What are these? So withered and so wild in their attire, they look not like the inhabitants of the earth, and yet are on it? Live you, or are you aught that man may question? You seem to understand me, by each at once her chappy finger laying upon her skinny lips.
Speak, If you can, what are you?
All hail Macbeth! Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis!
All hail Macbeth! Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor!
All hail Macbeth! Thou shalt be chief hereafter.
Why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair? In the name of truth, are ye fantastical, or that indeed which outwardly you show? My partner you greet with present grace and great prediction, that he seems rapt withal. To me you speak not. If you can look into the seeds of time and say which grain will grow and which will not, speak then to me, who neither fear nor beg your favor nor your hate.
Hail!
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 Lesser than Macbeth, and greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier.
Thou shalt get chiefs, though thou be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth, all hail.
Hey, you imperfect speakers, tell me more. The Thane of Cawdor lives, and to be chief stands not within the prospect of belief, no more than to be Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why upon this blasted heath you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak, I charge you.
The earth hath bubbles, as the water has, and these are of them. Whither are they vanished?
Into the air, and what seemed corporeal melted as breath into the wind.
Were such things here as we do speak about?
Your children shall be chiefs.
You shall be chief.
And Thane of Cawdor too, went it not so?
To the self-same tune and words. What's here?
Peace hath happily received, Macbeth, the news of thy success, and when he reads thy ventures in the rebels' fight, his wonders and his praises do contend, which should be thine or his.
We are sent to give thee from our royal master thanks, and for an earnest of greater honor, he bade us from him call thee Thane of Cawdor, in which addition, hail most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
What, can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives.
He who was the Thane lives yet, but under heavy judgment bears that life which he deserves to lose. Treason's capital, confessed and proved, have overthrown him.
Thane of Cawdor, thanks for your pains. Two truths are told. Cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why hath it given me earnest of success, commencing in a truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion whose horrid image doth unfix my hair and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. If chance will have me chief, why, chance may choose me, without my stir. Come what come may, time and the hour run through the roughest day.
Macbeth!
Give me your favor. My dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Let us toward the chief. Think upon what hath chanced here, and, at more time, the interim having waited, let us speak our free hearts each to other.
Very gladly.
Till then, enough. Come.
Is execution done on Cawdor? Are not those in commission yet returned?
Sir, he hath confessed his treason.
There is no art to find the money constructions in the face. He was a soldier on whom I built an absolute trust. Oh, worthy his cousin, more has thy due than more than all can pay.
The service and loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself. Your ruler's part is to receive our duties. Our duties are to your chair and state.
Welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee and will labor to make thee full of growing. Banquo, as no less deserved, nor must be known no less to have done so. Let me enfold thee and hold thee to my heart.
There, if I grow, the harvest is your own.
Sons, kinsmen, things, and you whose places are the nearest, know we will establish our estate upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name the Hand of Duncan, which honor must not unaccompanied invest him only, but from hence to your dwelling and bind us further to you.
I'll be myself the harbinger and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So humbly take my leave.
My worthy Cawdor.
The Hand of Duncan. That is a step on which I must fall down, or else o'erleap, for in my way it lies. Stars, Hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires. The eye wink at the hand, yet let that be which the eye fears when it is done to see.
True, Banquo, he's full so valiant, and in his commendation I am fed. It is a banquet to me. Let's after him, whose care has gone before to bid us welcome. It is a peerless kinsman.
They have met me in the day of success, and I have learned by the perfectest report that they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burned in desire to question them further, they made themselves air into which they vanished. Whilst I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came Mrs. from the chief, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title before these weird sisters saluted me and referred me to the coming on of time as all hail, chief that shalt be. This I have thought good to deliver unto thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightest not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart. Farewell. Promise thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet I do fear thy nature. It is too full o' the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. What thou wouldst highly, thou wouldst holily, wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Hie thee hither, that I might pour thy spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valour of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have crowned withal. What is your tidings?
The chief comes here tonight.
Thou art mad to say it. Is thy master with him, who, were it so, would have informed for preparation?
So please you, it is true, our Thane is coming. One of my fellows had the speed of him, who, almost dead for breath, had scarcely more than would make up his message.
Give him tending. He brings great news. The raven himself is hoarse, that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits, unsex me here and fill me from the crown to the toe-top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood, stop up the axis and passage to remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the affected it. Come to my woman's breasts and take my milk for gall, you murtering ministers, wherever in your sightless substance you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pour thee in the dullest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peeps through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold, hold! Great Cawdor, thy transmission have transported me beyond this ignorant present, and I feel now the future in the instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Oh, never shall the sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is as a book where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time. Bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall to all our nights and days to come give solely sway and masterdom.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear. To alter favor ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
This station hath a pleasant seat, the air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself unto our gentle senses.
I have observed the air is delicate.
See, our honored hostess, the love that follows us sometimes is our trouble, which we still thank as love. Herein I teach you how you shall bid God ill us for your pains and thank us for your trouble.
All our service in every point twice done, and then done double, were poor and single business to contend against these honours deep and broad, wherewith your presence loads our house.
Fair and noble hostess, we are your guest tonight.
Your servants ever.
Give me your hand, conduct me to mine host. We love him highly, and shall continue our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess.
If it were done, when 'tis done, then 'twere well it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence, and catch with his surcease success, that but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here. But here, upon this bank and shoal of time, will jump the life to come. But in these cases we still have judgment here, that we but teach bloody instructions which, being taught, return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poison chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed, and as his host, who should against his murder shut the door not, bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued, against the deep damnation of his taking off, and pity, like a naked newborn babe striding the blast, or heaven's cherubims, forced upon the sightless couriers of the air, shall blow the horrid deed in every eye, the tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, only vaunting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other. And now, what news?
He hath almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
No, you not he has.
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk, wearing your dress yourself? And wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time such I account thy love. Art thou afeard to be the same in thine own act and valor as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have which thou esteemest the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would, like the poor cat in the adage?
Prithee, peace! I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is none.
What beast was it then that made you break this enterprise to me? And when you durst do it, then you are a man, and to be more than what you were, you would be so much more the man. Nor time, nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and that their fitness now does unmake you. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it were smiling up at me, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums, and dashed the brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to this.
Should fail?
We fail. But screw your courage to the sticking place, and we shall not fail. When Duncan is asleep, whereto rather shall his day's hard journey soundly invite him, his two chamberlains will I with wine and wassail so convince that memory, the warder of the brain, shall be a fume, and the receipt of reason a limbeck only. When in swinish sleep, their drenched natures lie as in death, what cannot you and I put upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers who shall bear the guilt of our great quell?
Bring forth men children only, for thy undaunted metal should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received thus, when we have marked with blood those sleepy two of their own chamber, and used their very daggers that they have done it?
Who dares receive it other? as we shall clamour, roar, and make our griefs upon his death.
I am settled, and bent up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away, and mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide what the false heart doth know.
How goes the night, boy?
Moon is down. I have not heard the alarm.
And she goes down at 12.
I take it to Slater, sir.
There's husbandry in heaven. Their candles are all out. Take thee that too. Heavy summons lies like lead upon me, and yet I would not sleep. Merciful powers restrain in me the cursed thoughts that nature gives way to in repose. Who's there?
Friend.
What, sir? Not yet at rest? The king's abed. He hath been an unusual pleasure, and sent forth great largesse to your offices. I dreamt of the 3 weird sisters last night. To you they have showed some truth.
I think not of them. Yet, when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words upon that business, if you would grant the time.
At your kindest leisure.
Good repose the while.
Thanks, sir, the like to you.
Is this a dagger I see before me? The handle towards my hand? Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeding from the heat oppressed brain? I see thee yet, in form as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou marshalest me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on thy blade and dudgeon gouts of blood, which was not so before. There is no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Now, where the one half-world nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep, thou sure and firm set earth, hear not my steps, which way they walk, for fear thy very stones prate of my whereabout, and take the present horror from the instant, which now suits with it. Well as I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deeds too cold breath gives. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan. It is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. Hark! Peace! It was the owl that cried, the fatal bellman, which gives the sternest good night. He is about it. The doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their possets, that death and nature do contend about them.
Who's there? What, how?
Alack! I am afraid they have awakened, and 'tis not done. The attempt and not the deed confounds us. Hark! I laid their daggers ready. He could have not missed them. My husband!
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
The owl screech and the crickets cry. Did you not speak?
When?
Now.
As I descended?
Right.
This is a sorry sight.
Foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
As one did laugh in his sleep, and one cried murder, that they did wake each other. I stood and heard them, but they did say their prayers, and addressed them again to sleep.
They are too large together.
One cried, God bless us, and amen the other. They had seen me with these hangmen's hands. Listening their fears, I could not say amen, when they did say God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
Wherefore cannot I pronounce amen? I had most need of a blessing, yet amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways, so it will make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Macbeth doth murder sleep. The innocent sleep. Sleep that knits up the ravelled sleeve of care. Still it cried, sleep no more to all the house. Macbeth doth murder sleep. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried? Why, noble Thane, you do unbend your noble strength to think so brain-sickly on these things. Go, take some water and wash this filthy witness from your hands. Why did you take the daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go, take them, and smear the sleepy guards with blood.
I'll go no more. I'm afraid to think what I have done. Look on it again, I dare not.
Infirm of purpose. Give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures, and 'tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If he do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their guilt.
Whence is that knocking? How is it with me when every noise appalls me? What hands are here? Ah, they pluck out mine eyes. Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand? No, this my hand, or rather the multitudinous seas and incarnadine, making the green one red.
My hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. I hear knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. A little water clears us of the steed. Hark, you're not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
To know my deed, 'twere best not to know myself. Wake Duncan with thy knocking. I would thou couldst.
Here's the knocking indeed. If the man were porter of Hellgate, he should have old turning the key. Knock, knock! Who's there in the name of Beelzebub? Here's a farmer that hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Come in time, have napkins enow about you. Here you'll sweat for it. Knock, knock! Who's there in the other devil's name? Faith, here's an equivocator who could swing both the scales against either scale, who committed treason enough for God's sake you could not equivocate to heaven. Oh, come in, equivocator! Knock, knock, knock! Who's there in... Faith, here's an English tailor who come hither for stealing out of a French hose. Come in, tailor, here you may roast your goose. Knock, knock, never had quiet. What are you? But this place is too cold for hell. Oh, devil porter it no further. I had thought to let in some of all professions that go the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire. Anon, anon, I pray you, remember the porter.
Was it so late, friend, ere you went to bed, that you do lie so late?
Faith, sir, we were carousing till the second cock, and drink, sir, is a great provoker of 3 things.
What 3 things does drink especially provoke?
Marry, sir, nose painting, sleep, and pissing. Lechery, sir, it provokes, and it unprovokes. It provokes the desire, but it takes away the performance. Thus, drinks may be an equivocator with lechery. It makes him and it mars him, it sets him on and it takes him off. It makes him stand to and not stand to. In conclusion, equivocates him in a sleep and giving him the lie leaves him.
I believe drink gave thee the lie last night.
That it did, sir. I the very throat on him, but I requited him for his for his lie, and I think being too strong for him, though he took up my legs so tiny as I made a shift to cast him.
Is thy master stirring? Our knocking has awakened him. Here he comes.
Good morrow, worthy sir.
Good morrow, Berth.
Is thy chief stirring, worthy Thane?
Not yet.
You did command me to call timely on him. I've almost slipped the hour.
I'll take you to him.
I know it is a joyful trouble to you, but yet 'tis one.
The labor we delight in physics pain. This is the door.
I'll make so bold the call, for 'tis my limited service.
Goes the chief hence today?
He does. He did appoint so.
The night has been unruly. Say, lamentings heard in the air, the strange scream of death, the unruly bird clamored the livelong night. Some say the earth was feverous and did shake.
'Twas a rough night.
Oh, horror, horror, horror! Tongue nor heart cannot conceive nor name thee.
What's the matter?
Approach the chamber and destroy your sight with a new Gorgon. Do not bid me speak. See and speak yourselves.
What is it you say? A life?
Awake, awake! Ring the alarm bell! Murder and treason! Banquo and Donalbain! Malcolm, awake and look on death itself! Ring the bell!
What's the business? That such a hideous noise caused to belay the sleepers of the house. Speak! Speak!
Oh, gentle lady, 'tis not for you to hear what I can speak. The repetition in a woman's ear would murder as it fell. Oh, Banquo, Banquo, our master's murdered!
Oh, alas, what in our house?
Who cruel anywhere?
Had I but died an hour before this chance, I lived a blessed time, for from this instant, there's nothing serious in mortality. All is but toys.
Is amiss.
You are, and do not know it. The spring, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Your royal father is murdered.
Oh, by whom?
Those of his chambers, as it seemed, had done it. Their hands and faces were badgered with blood. So were their daggers, which unwiped we found upon their pillows. They stared and were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted with them.
Oh, yet I do repent of my fury, that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who can be wise, amazed, temperate and furious, loyal and neutral in a moment? No man. The expedition my violent love outrun the pause of reason. Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood. There, the murderers, their daggers breached with gore. Who could refrain that had a heart to love, and in that heart courage to make loves known?
Help me hence. Oh.
Look to the lady.
Why do we hold our tongues, that most may claim this argument for ours?
Open here, where our fate hidden in auger hole may rush and seize us. Let's away. Tears are not yet food.
Nor our strong sorrow upon the foot of motion.
Look to the lady. And when we have our naked frailties hid, that suffer and exposure let us meet, and question this most bloody piece of work, to know it further. Fears and scruples shake us. Against the undivulged pretense I fight of treasonous malice.
And so do I.
So all.
Let's briefly put on manly readiness and meet in the hall together.
Well
contended.
What will you do? Let's not consort with them. To show an unfelt sorrow as an officer to false man does easy. Out to the north.
To the west, our fated fortune shall keep us both the safer. Where we are, there's daggers and men's smiles. The near in blood, the nearer bloody.
This murderous shaft that shot hath not yet lighted, and our safest way is to avoid the aim. Therefore, let's not be dainty in leave-taking, but shift away. There's warrant in that theft, that steals itself when there's no mercy left.
Goes the world, sir. Now?
Why, see you not?
It's known who did this more than bloody deed.
Those that Macbeth hath slain.
Alas the day, what good could they pretend?
They were suborned. That Malcolm and Donalbain, the chief's two sons, are stolen away and fled, which puts upon them the suspicion of the deed.
Gainst nature still, thriftless ambition that wilt raven up thine own life's means. Then 'tis most like the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
He is already named and gone to be invested.
Will you hence?
No, cousin. Out of Fife.
Well, I will thither.
Well, may you see things well done there. Adieu, lest our old rogue sit easier than our new.
Thou hast it now. As the weird women promised, and I fear thou play'st most foully for it. Yet it was said it should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root and father of many chiefs. If there come truth from them, as upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine, why, by the verities on thee made good, may they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope? But hush, no more.
Here's our chief guest.
If he had been forgotten, it had been as a gap in our great feast, and all thing unbecoming.
Tonight we hold a solemn supper and will request your presence.
Let you command upon me, to the which my duties are with a most indissoluble tie forever knit.
Fail not our feast.
Sir, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed north and west, not confessing their cruel parricide, filling their hearers with strange invention. But farewell, till you return at night. Goes Fleance with you?
Aye, my good lord, our time does call upon us.
Farewell. Let every man be master of his time till 7 at night. To make society the sweeter welcome, we will keep ourselves till supper time alone. Sirrah, a word with you. Attend those men our pleasure.
They are, my lord, without the palace gate.
Bring them before us. To be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus, our fears in Banquo stick deep. 'Tis much he dares. There's none but him whose being I do fear, and under him my genius is rebuked. The sisters held him father to a line of chiefs. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, no son of mine succeeding. If it be so, for Banquo's issue have I filed to my mind, for them the gracious Duncan have I murdered. Rather than so, come fate into the list, and champion me to the utterance. Who's there? Now, go to the door, and stay there till we call. Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
It was, so please you, sir.
Well then, now have you considered of my speeches? How you were borne in hand, how crossed the instruments, who wrought with them, and all things else that might to have a soul, and to a notion crazed, they thus did Banquo.
You made it known to us.
Do you find your patience so predominant in your nature that you can let this go? Are you so gospel to pray for this good man and for his issue, whose heavy hand hath bowed you to the grave and beggared yours forever?
We are men, my liege.
Aye, in the catalogue ye go for men, as hounds, greyhounds, mongrels, spaniels, curs, choughs, waterrugs, and demi-wolves are clept all by the name of dogs. Now, if you have a station in the file, not in the worst rank of manhood, say it, that I may put that business in your bosoms, whose execution takes your enemy off.
I am one, my liege, whom the vile blows and the buffets of the world have so incensed that I am reckless what I do spite the world.
And I another, so weary with disasters, tugged with fortune, that I would set my lie on any chance to mend it or be rid on it.
Both of you know Banquo was your enemy.
True, my lord.
So is he mine, and in such bloody distance that every minute of his being thrusts against my nearest of life. And thence it is that I to your assistance do make love, masking the business from the common eye for sundry weighty reasons.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
Though our lives...
Your spirits shine through you. Within this hour at most, I will advise you where to plant yourselves. Acquaint yourself with the perfect spy of the time, the moment on it, for it must be done tonight. And with him, to leave no rubs nor botches in the work, Fleance his son, that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart.
We are resolved, my lord.
I'll call upon you straight. Abide within. It is concluded. Banquo, thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight.
Is Banquo gone from the station?
Aye, madam, but returns again tonight.
Say to the chief I would attend his leisure for a few words.
Madam, I will.
Not had or spent, where desire is got without content. 'Tis safer to be that which we destroy, and by destruction dwell in doubtful joy. How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone? Of sorriest fancies your companions making, things without all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
We have scotched the snake, not killed it. She'll close and be herself, whilst our poor malice remains in danger of her former tooth. Better be with the dead, whom we, to gain our peace, have sent to peace, than on the torture of the mind to lie in restless ecstasy. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst. Nothing can touch him further.
You must leave this.
Oh, full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou know'st that Banquo and his fleance lives.
But in them nature's copy, not in turn.
There's comfort yet. They are assailable. There shall be done a deed of dreadful note.
What's to be done?
Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Come, sealing night, scarf up the tender eye of pitiful day, and with thy bloody and invisible hand, cancel and tear to shreds that great bond which keeps me pale. Light thickens, and the crow makes wing to the rooky wood. Good things of day begin to droop and drowse, while night's black agents to their praise do rouse. Thou marvelest at my words, but hold thee still. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill. So, prithee, go with me.
But who did bid thee join with us?
Macbeth. He needs not our mistrust, since he delivers our offices and what we have to do to the direction just.
Then stand with us. The west yet glimmers with some streaks of day. Now spurs the elated traveller apace to gain the timely inn, and near approaches the subject of our watch.
Hark! Give us a light there, ho!
A light, a light!
'Tis he.
Stand to it.
It will be rain tonight.
Let it come down.
Oh, treachery! Fly, good Fleance! Fly, fly, fly! Thou mayest revenge! Oh, slave! Who did strike out the light?
Was't not the way?
There's but one down. The sun is fled.
We've lost best half our fare.
Well, let's away, and say how much is done.
You know your own degrees. Sit down at first and last the hearty welcome.
Thank you, Chief.
Herself will mingle with society and play the humble host. Our hostess keeps her state, but in best time we will require her welcome.
Pronounce it for me, sir, to all our friends, for my heart speaks they are welcome.
See, they encounter thee with their heart's thanks. Both sides are even. Here I'll sit in the midst. Anon will drink and measure the table around. There's blood on thy face.
'Tis Banquo's then.
'Tis better thee without than he within. Is he dispatched?
My lord, his shirt is cut. That I did for him.
Thou art the best of the cutthroats, yet he's good that did the like for Fleance.
Most loyal sir, Fleance escaped.
Then comes my fit again. I had else been perfect, whole as the marble, founded as the rock, but Banquo's safe.
Aye, my good lord, safe in the ditch as he bides, with 20 trenched gashes in his head, the least death to nature.
Thanks for that. There the grown serpent lies. The worm that's fled has nature that in time will venom breed. No teeth for the present. Get thee gone. Tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again.
My husband, you do not give the cheer. The feast is sold that is not often vouched for. Well, 'tis a making, 'tis given with welcome. The feed were best at home. Meeting were bare without it.
Sweet remembrance, sir. Now, good digestion, weight and appetite, and health on both.
May it please you sit.
Here had we now our country's honor roofed, were the graced person of our Banquo present, who may I rather challenge for unkindness than pity for mischance.
Absence, sir, lays blame upon his promise. Please do, Chief, to grace us with your company.
The table's full.
Here's a place reserved, sir.
Where?
Here. What moves you, Chief?
Which of you have done this?
Much, my good lord.
Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy gory locks at me.
Gentlemen, rise, his highness is not well.
Sit, worthy friends. He is often thus, and hath been from his youth. Pray you, keep seat. The fit is momentary. Upon a thought, he will again be well if much you note him. You shall offend him, and extend his passion, feed, and regard him not. Are you a man?
Aye, and a bold one, that there look on that which might appall the devil.
Oh, proper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. Oh, these flaws and starts, impostors to true fear, would well become a woman's story at a winter's fire authorized by her granddam. Shame itself. Why do you make such faces? When all's done, you look but on a stool.
Prithee, see there. Behold, look low. How say you? Why, what care I? If thou canst not, speak too. If charnel houses and our graves must send those that we bury back, our monuments shall be the maws of kites.
What, quite a Manton folly?
If I stand here, I saw him.
Why, for shame.
Blood hath been shed ere now. The times have been that when the brains are out, the man would die, and there an end. But now they rise again, with 20 mortal murders on their head, and push us from our stools. This is more strange than such a murder is.
Sir, your noble friends do lack you.
I do forget. Do not muse at me, most worthy friends. I have a strange infirmity, which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health to all. Then I'll sit down. Give me some wine, fill full. I drink to the eternal joy the whole table, and to our dear friend Banquo, whom we miss. Would he were here! To all and him we thirst, and all to all.
Our duties and the pledge.
Avaunt, and quit my sight. Let the earth hide thee. Thy bones are marrowless, thy blood is cold. Thou hast no speculation in those eyes which thou dost glare with.
Think of this, good peers, but as a thing of custom. 'Tis no other, only it spoils the coming on of the time.
Hence, horrible shadow, unreal mockery, hence! Why so? Being gone, I'm a man again. Pray you, sit still.
You have displaced the mirth, broke the good meeting with most admired disorder.
Can such things be, when now I think you can behold such sights, and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks, when mine is blanched with fear?
Sights, my lord.
I pray you, speak not. He grows worse and worse. Question enrages him. At once, good night. Stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once.
Good night, and better health attend you.
Kind good night to all.
It will have blood. They say blood will have blood. Stones have been known to move, and trees to speak. What is the night?
Almost at odds with morning. With which?
How sayst thou? That Macduff denies his person at our great bidding?
Did you send him, sir?
I know it, by the way, but I will send. There's not a one of them but in his house I keep a servant feed. I will tomorrow, and betimes I will to the weird sisters. More shall they speak, for now I am bent to know, by the worst means the worst. For mine own good all causes shall give way. I am in blood stepped in so far that, should I wait no more, returning were as tedious as go o'er.
Lack the seasons of all natures. Sleep.
Come, go to bed. My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are yet but young indeed.
Thrice the brinded cat hath mewed.
Thrice and once the hedge pig whined.
Harpier cries, 'Tis time, 'tis time.
Round about the cauldron go, in the poisoned entrails throw. Toad, that under cold stone days and nights hath 31 sweltered venom sleeping got, boil thou first in the charmed pot. Double, double, toil and trouble.
Fire burn.
And cauldron bubble.
Fillet of a fenny snake, in the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog. Adder's fork and blind worm's sting, lizard's leg and owlet's wing. For a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth boil and bubble.
Double, double, toil and trouble.
Fire burn.
And cauldron bubble. Scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, demon's mummy, maw and gulf of the ravened salt sea shark, root of hemlock digged in the dark, finger of birth strangled babe, ditch delivered by a drab. Make the gruel thick and slab. Add thereto a tiger's chaudron for the ingredients of our cauldron.
Double, double, toil and trouble.
Fire burn.
And cauldron bubble.
Cool it with a baboon's blood, then the charm is firm and good.
And now about the cauldron sing live elves and fairies in a ring, enchanting all that you put in.
By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes.
Open, locks, whoever knocks.
And now, you secret black and midnight hags, what is it you do?
A deed without a name.
I conjure you, by that which you profess, howe'er you come to know it, answer me. Though you untie the winds and let them fight against the churches, though the yeasty waves confound and swallow navigation up, though bladed corn be lodged and trees blown down, though the treasure of nature and the Germans tumble all together, even till destruction sicken, answer me to what I ask you.
Speak.
Demand.
We'll answer.
Say, if thou'dst rather hear it from our mouths or from our masters.
Call him, let me see him.
Pour in sow's blood that hath eaten her 9 pharaoh. Grease that sweatin' from the murderers give it, throw into the flame.
Come high or low, thyself in office deftly show.
Tell me, thou unknown power.
He knows thy thought. Hear his speech, but say thou not.
Macbeth! 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 Beware Macduff! Beware the Thane of Fife! Dismiss me! Enough!
Dear thou art, for thy good caution's thanks. Thou hast hurt my feel, all right. But one word more.
You will not be commanded. Here's another more potent than the first.
Macbeth, 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 be bloody, bold, and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of women born shall harm Macbeth.
Then live, Macduff. What need I fear of thee? But yet I'll make assurance double sure, and take a bond of fate. Thou shalt not live, that I may tell pale-hearted fear's lies, and sleep in spite of thunder. What is this? It rises like the issue of a king, and wears upon his baby brow the round and top of sovereignty.
Listen, but speak not to it.
Be lion-mettled, proud, and take no care who chafes, who frets, or where conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquished be, till great Burnham woods to high Dunsinane hills shall come against him.
That he will never be. Who can impress the forest, bid the tree unfix his earthbound root? Sweet bodements good! Yet my heart throbs to know one thing more. Tell me, if your art can tell so much, shall Banquo's issue ever reign?
Seek to know no more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall on you. Let me know. Why sinks that cauldron? And what noise is this?
Show.
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 Show his eyes.
And grieve his heart.
Come like shadows, so depart.
Yes! Horrible sight! Now, I see the blood-boltered Banquo smiles upon me. What? Is this so?
Aye, sir, all this is so. But why stands Macbeth thus amazedly?
Where are they? Gone? Let this pernicious hour send I accursed in the calendar. Come in, without there.
What's your grace's will?
Saw you the weird sisters?
No, my lord.
Came they not by you?
No, indeed, my lord.
Infected be the air whereon they ride, and damned all those that trust them. I did hear noises in the night. Who was it came by?
'Tis 2 or 3, my lord, that bring you word. Macduff is fled.
From this moment, the very first things of my hand shall be the first things of my heart. The keep of Macduff I will surprise. Seize upon Fife. Give to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line. No boasting like a fool. This deed I'll do before the purpose cool. But no more sights.
What have you done to make him fly the land?
You must have patience, madam.
He had none. His flight was madness. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors.
You knew not whether it was his wisdom or his fear.
Wisdom. To leave his wife, to leave his babes, his mansion, and his titles in a place from whence himself does fly? He loves us not. He wants the natural touch for the poor wren, the most diminutive of birds, puts her babes in a nest to fight against the owl. All is fear, and nothing is the love. Wisdom, to leave his wife, to leave his babes, his mansion, and his titles in a place from whence himself does fly. He loves us not. He wants the natural touch for the poor wren, the most diminutive of birds, will fight her babes in a nest against the owl. All is fear, and nothing is the love. As little is the wisdom when the flight so runs against all reason.
My dearest cause, I pray you, school yourself. But for your husband, he is noble, wise, judicious, and best knows the fits of the season. I dare not speak much further. But cruel are the times when we are traitors and do not know ourselves. When we hold rumor from what we fear, yet know not what we fear. But float upon a wild and violent sea each way and move. I take my leave of you. Things of the worst will cease, or else climb upwards to what they were before. Blessings upon you, my pretty cousin.
Fathered he is, and yet he's fatherless.
I am so much a fool should I stay longer. It would be my disgrace and your discomfort. I take my leave at once.
Sarah, your father's dead. What will you do now? How will you live?
As birds do, Mother.
What, with worms and flies?
With what I get, I mean, and so do they.
Poor bird, thou'st never fear the nest nor the lime, the pitfall nor the gin.
Why should I, Mother? Poor birds, they are not sent for. My father is not dead, for all your saying.
Yes, he is dead. How wilt thou do for a father?
Nay, what will you do for a husband?
Why, I can buy me 20 at any market.
Then you'll buy him to sell again.
Thou speakest with all thy wit, and yet faith with wit enough for thee.
Was my father a traitor, Mother?
Aye, that he was.
What is a traitor?
Why, one that swears and lies.
And be all traitors that do so?
Everyone that does so is a traitor and must be hanged.
And must they all be hanged that swear and lie?
Every one.
Who must hang them?
Why, the honest men.
Then the liars and swearers are fools, for they are liars and swearers, and now to beat the honest men and hang up them.
Poor Predler, how thou talkest.
Bless you, fair dame. I doubt some danger does approach you nearly. If you will take a homely man's advice, be not found here, hence with your little ones. To fright you thus, methinks I am too savage. To do worse to you were fell cruelty, and is too nigh your person. Heaven preserve you, I dare abide no longer.
Whither should I fly? I have done no harm, but I know in this earthly world to do no harm is often laudable, to do good sometime accounted dangerous folly. Why then, alas, do I put up that womanly defense to say I have done no harm? What are these faces?
Where is your husband?
I hope in no place so unsanctified where such as thou mayst find him.
He's a traitor.
Liest thou, shag-haired villain?
What? You egg, young fry of treachery?
He has killed me, Mother. Run away, I pray you.
Murder! Murder!
What you have spoke, it may be so perchance. This tyrant, whose sole name blisters our tongue, was once thought honest. You have loved him well. He hath not touched you yet. I am young, but something you may deserve of him through me. Wisdom, to sacrifice a weak, poor, innocent lamb, to appease an angry God.
I am not treacherous. I've lost my hopes.
Why in Adronis left you wife and child, those precious motives, those strong knots of love, without leave taking? You may be rightly just, whatever I shall think.
Fare thee well, lord. I would not be the villain that thou thinkest, for the whole space fits in the tyrant's grasp, and the rich east to boot.
Be not offended. I speak not in absolute fear of you. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps, it bleeds, and each new day a gash is added to her wounds. But when I shall tread upon the tyrant's head, our poor country shall have more vices than it did before, more suffer in more sundry ways than ever, by him that shall succeed.
What should he be?
It is myself, I mean, in whom I know all the particulars of vice so finely grafted, that when they shall be opened, black Macbeth shall seem as pure as snow, and our poor state shall esteem him as a lamb, being repaired with my confineless harms.
Not in the legions of horrid hell can come a devil more damned and evil as to taught Macbeth.
I grant him bloody, luxurious, avaricious, false, sudden, deceitful, malicious, smacking of every sin that has a name. But were I king, I would cut the nobles from their lands, desire this man's house and this other's jewels, and my more having would as a sauce to make me hunger more.
This avarice sticks deep, yet do not fear all these are portable, with other graces weighed.
But I have none. Nay, had I power, I should pour the sweet milk of concord into hell, uproar the universal peace, confound all unity on earth. If such a one be fit to govern and speak, I am as I have spoken.
Fit to govern? No, not to live. A nation miserable, with an untitled tyrant, bloody sceptred, when shalt thou see thy wholesome days again? Since that the truest issue of thy throne by his own interdiction stands accursed, and is blasphemy in his breed? Fare thee well. Oh, my breast, thy hope ends here.
Macduff, rest assured, this was but to test. Know in thy heart, I have at no time lost my faith, would not betray the devil to his fellow and delight. What I am truly is thine, and my poor country's to command. Whither indeed, before thy here approach, old seaward, with 10,000 warlike men was setting forth. Now we'll together, and our chance of goodness be like our warranted quarrel. Why are you silent?
Such welcome and unwelcome things at once. 'Tis hard to reconcile. See, who comes here? My ever-gentle cousin, welcome hither.
Good God, I know him now. Betimes remove the means that make us strangers.
Sir, amen.
What's the newest grief? How does my wife?
Why, well...
And all my children? The tyrant has not battered at their peace?
No, they were well at peace when I did leave them. I have words that will be howled out in the desert air. We're hearing should not latch them.
What concern they? The general cause, or is it a fee grief due to some single breast?
No mine that's honest, but in it shares some woe. The main part, though, pertains to you alone.
It be mine. Keep it not from me. Quickly let me have it.
Let not your ears despise my tongue forever, which shall possess them with the heaviest sound that ever yet they heard.
I guess at it.
Your dwelling is surprised, your wife and babes savagely slaughtered.
Merciful heaven!
My children, too?
Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
And I must be from thence? Oh, my pretty ones, did you say all? Oh, hell-kite, all? All my pretty chickens and their dam at one fell swoop.
Dispute it like a man.
I shall do so, but I must also feel it as a man. cannot but remember such things were that were most precious to me. Did heaven look on and would not take their part? Sinful Macduff, they were all struck for thee, not that I am, not for their own demerits, but for mine fell slaughter on their souls. Heaven rest them now.
Be this the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger. Blunt not your heart, enrage it.
Bring thou this fiend and myself. Within my sword's length set him, and if he escape, heaven forgive him too.
Come, go to the chief. Our power is ready. Our lack is nothing but our leave, and the heavens above put on their instruments. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long that never finds the day.
I have 2 nights watched with you, but I can perceive no truth in your report. When was it last she walked?
Since His Majesty went into the field, I have seen her rise from bed, throw her nightgown upon her, unlock her closet, take forth paper, fold it, write upon it, read it, afterwards seal it, and again return to bed, yet all this while in a most fast sleep.
A great perturbation in nature, to receive at once the benefits of sleep, and to do the effects of watching. In this slumbery agitation, besides her walking and other actual performances, what at any time have you heard her say?
That, sir, which I will not report after her.
You may to me, and most meet you should.
Neither to you nor anyone, having no witness to confirm my speech. Lo you, here she comes. This is her very guise, and upon my life fast asleep. Observe her, stand close.
How came she by the light?
Why, it stood by her. She has light by her continually. 'Tis her command.
You see, her eyes are open.
Aye, but their sense is shut.
What is it she does now? Look how she rubs her hands.
It is an accustomed action with her to seem thus washing her hands. I have known her continue in this quarter of an hour.
Yet, here's a spot.
Hark! She speaks. I will set down what comes from her, to satisfy my remembrance the more strongly.
Out, damned spot! Out, I say! 1, 2. Then it's time to do it. Hell is murky. Fie, my lord, fie, a soldier, and afeard. What need we fear, who knows it, when none can call our service to parley? Yet who would have thought the old man would have so much blood in him?
Do you mark that?
The man of life had a wife. Where is she now? What will these hands ne'er be? No more that, my lord. No more that. Tomorrow with this starting.
Go to, you have known what you should not.
She has spoke what she should not. I am sure of that. Heaven knows what she has known.
Here's the smell of blood still. All the perfumes in Arabia could not sweeten this little hand. Oh!
What a sigh is there? The heart is sorely charged.
I would not have such a heart in my bosom for the dignity of the whole body.
Well.
Pray God it be, sir.
This disease is beyond my practice, yet I have known of those who walked in their sleep, who died wholly in their beds.
Wash your hands. Put on your nightgown. Look not so pale. I tell you yet again, Banquo's buried. He cannot come out on's grave.
Even so.
To bed! To bed, I hear a knocking at the gate. Come, give me your hand. What's done is done. To bed. To bed.
Will she go now to bed?
Directly.
Foul whispers are abroad. Unnatural deeds do breed unnatural troubles. Infected mind, God forgive us all. Look after her. So good night. My mind she has mated and amazed my sight. I think, yet I dare not speak.
Good night, good doctor.
The Eastern powers near, led on by Malcolm,
His uncle Seward and the good Macduff revenges burn in them. Their dear causes would to the bleeding and the grin alarm excite the mortified man.
Near Burnham shall we meet them? That way are they coming?
But does the tyrant?
Great Dunsedane center he strongly fortifies. Some say he's mad, others who lesser hate him do call it valiant fury. But for certain, he cannot buckle his distempered cause within the belt of rule.
Now does he feel his secret murderer sticking on his hands. Now does he feel his title hang loose about him, like a giant's rope upon a dwarfish thief.
Who then shall blame his pestered senses to recoil and start, when all that is within him does condemn itself for being there?
Well, march we on, to give obedience where it is truly owed. Meet we the medicine of the sickly wheel, and pour we in our country's purge each drop of us.
For so much as it needs to dough the sovereign flower and drown the weeds.
Bring me no more reports. Let them fly all. Till Burnham would remove to Dunsinane, I cannot taint with fear. What's the boy Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? The mind I sway by, nor the heart I bear, shall never sad with doubt, nor shake with fear. The devil damn thee black, thou cream-faced loon! Where got'st thou that goose look?
There's 10,000.
Geese, villain!
Soldiers, sir.
Go prick thy face and override thy fear, thou lily-livered boy! What soldiers, Patch? Death of thy soul! Those linen cheeks of thine are counselors to fear. What soldiers, Wayface?
The Eastern force, so please you.
Take thy face hence! Satan! I am sick at heart when I behold. Satan, I say!
What is your gracious pleasure?
What news more?
All is confirmed, my lord, which was reported.
I'll fight till from my bones my flesh be hacked. Scour the country round. Hang those that talk of fear. How does your patient, doctor?
Not sick, my lord. She is troubled with thick fancies that keep her from her rest.
Hear her that. Canst thou not minister to a mind disease, and with some sweet oblivious antidote cleanse the stuffed bosom of that perilous stuff which weighs upon the heart?
Therein, the patient must minister to herself.
Come, sir, dispatch. If thou couldst, doctor, cast the watcher of my land, find her disease, and purge it to a sound and pristine health. Pull it off, I say. What rhubarb, cyme, or what purgative drug would scour these rebels hence? Hearst thou of them?
Aye, my good lord, your royal preparation makes us hear something.
Bring it after me. I will not be afraid of death and bane, till Burnham Forest come to Dunsinane.
Were I from Dunsinane and clear, profit again should hardly draw me here.
Cousins, I hope the days are near at hand, that chamber shall be safe.
We doubt it nothing.
What is this before us?
Would of Burnham.
Let every soldier hew him down a bough, and bear it before him. Thereby shall we shadow our numbers and make discovery ere in report of us.
Shall be done.
The time approaches, that will with due decision make us know what we shall say we have and what we owe. Thoughts speculative their unsure hopes relate, but certain issue strokes must arbitrate, towards which advance the war.
Hang out our banners on the outward walls. The cry is still, they come! Our fortress strength will laugh a siege to scorn. Here let them lie till famine and the ague eat them up. What is that noise?
It is the cry of women, my good lord.
I have almost forgot the taste of fears. The time has been my senses would have cooled to hear a night shriek. And my fill of hair would at a dismal treatise rouse and stir as life were in it. I have supped full with horrors. Direness, familiar to my slaughterous thoughts, cannot at once start me. Wherefore was that cry?
Your lady, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been time for such a word. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day, to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury and signifying nothing. Thou comest to use thy tongue, thy story quickly.
Gracious my lord, I should report that which I say I saw, but I know not how to do it.
Well, say, sir.
As I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked toward vermin, and anon, methought the wood began to move.
Liar and slave!
Let me endure your wrath. If it be not so, within this 3 mile may you see it coming. Hey, a moving grove.
If thou speakest false, upon the next tree shalt thou hang alive till famine cling thee. Fear not, till Burnham wood do come to Dunsinane. And now a wood comes toward Dunsinane. Arm and out! If this which he avouches does appear, there is nor flying hence nor tarrying here. I begin to be weary of the sun, and wish the state of the world were now undone. Ring the alarm bell, blow wind, come rack, at least we'll die with harness on our back!
Now near enough, your leafy screens throw down and show like those you are. You, worthy uncle, shall with my cousin your right noble Sunday the first battle. Worthy Macduff and we shall do what remains to be done according to our order.
Fare you well. Do we but find the tyrant's power tonight, let us be beaten if we cannot fight.
Make all our trumpets speak, give them all breath, those clamors, harbingers of blood and death.
You've tied me to a stake. I cannot fly, but bear-like I will fight the course. What's he that was not born of woman? Such a one am I to fear, or none?
What is thy name?
Thou'lt be afraid to hear it.
No, though thou callest thyself a hotter name than any in hell.
My name's Macbeth.
The devil himself could not speak a title more hateful to mine ear.
No, nor more fearful.
Thou liest, abhorred tyrant! With my sword I'll prove the lie thou speakest!
Thou wast born of woman, but swords I smile at. Weapons laugh to scorn, brandished by man that's of a woman born.
That way the noises. Tyrant, show thy face! If thou be slain with no stroke of mine, my wife and children's ghosts will haunt me still. I cannot strike at wretched kerns, whose arms are hired to bear their staves. Either thou, Macbeth, or else my sword with an unbattered edge I sheathe again undeeded. There thou shouldst be by this great clatter when of greatest note seems bruited. Let me find him, fortune, and more I beg not.
This way, my lord. The castle's gently rendered, the tyrant's people on both sides do fight. The noble thanes do bravely in the war. The day almost itself professes yours, and little is to do.
We have met with foes that strike beside us.
Enter, sir, the castle.
Why should I play the Roman fool and die on mine own sword? Was I see lies, the gashes do better upon them.
Turn, hellhound, turn!
Of all men else I have avoided thee, but get thee back! My soul is too much charged with blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is in my sword. Thou bloodier villain than terms can give thee out.
Thou losest labor. As easy mayst thou the entrenched air with thy keen sword impress as make me bleed. Let fall thy blade on vulnerable crest. I bear a charmed life, which must not yield to one of women born.
Spare thy charm, and let the angel whom thou still hast served tell thee, Macduff was from his mother's womb untimely ripped.
Cursed be the tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed my better part of man. And be these juggling fiends no more believed, that palter with us in a double sense, and keep the word of promise to our ear, and break it to our hope. I'll not fight with thee,
Then yield thee, coward, and live to be the show and gaze of the time. We'll have thee, as our rare monsters are, painted on a pole and underwrit, here may you see the tyrant.
I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and to be baited with the rabble's curse. Though Burnham would become to Dunsinane, and thou opposed being of no woman born, I will fight the last. Lay on, Macduff, and damned be him that first cries, "Hold, enough!"
I would the friends we missed were safe arrived.
Some must go off, and yet by these I see, so great a day as this is cheaply bought.
Macduff is missing, and your warlike son.
Your son, my lord, has paid a soldier's debt. He only lived but till he was a man, the which no sooner had his prowess confirmed in the unshrinking station where he fought, but like a man he died.
Then he's dead?
Aye, and brought off the field. Your cause of sorrow must not be measured by his worth, for then it hath no end.
Had he his hurts before?
Aye, on the front.
Why then, God's soldier be he. Had I as many sons of Ive's hairs, I would not wish them a fairer death, and so his knell is knolled.
He's worth more sorrow, and that I'll spend for him.
He's worth no more. They say he parted well, and paid his score, and so, God be with him. Here comes newer comfort.
Hail, chief, for sure thou art. Behold, where stands the usurper's cursed head. The time is free. I see thee compassed with thy kingdom's pearl, that speak my salutations in their mind, whose voices I desire aloud with mine. Hail, chief of all lands!
Hail, chief of all lands!
My thanes and kinsmen, what's more to do which would be newly granted with the time, by the grace of grace we shall perform in measure, time, and place.
When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won.
That will be our set of sun.
Where the place, where the place, where the place, where the place.